welcome back to the channel with your favorite strength and conditioning coach, Coach Erica, otherwise known as Leonalifts. Welcome back to another jam-packed video full of information. Today we are gonna be going over something personal, and I hope it resonates with a lot of people, whether it be inspiring or if you're in the middle of your transformation journey, kind of get you in the next little kick. But I'm actually gonna be talking about my transformation and my weight loss journey, which was something that was really difficult for me in a lot of different ways, because I went from the heaviest I've ever been to also probably the best shape I've ever been in my whole life. But you know, that comes with a lot of emotions, a lot of things going on, and I want to, share with the world and kind of share with you guys the best way. I do want to share with you guys, what I did, some tips, tricks, because there's just so much misinformation going on in the world. Like, I want to help you guys understand why this worked, why it worked for me, and what's the best possible options to figure out what's going to work for you specifically. So I'm going to be going over my 1 year transformation, total and weight loss and journey. This is going to be from essentially, I say 1 year because it was just right on the edge. I think my heaviest weigh-in was October 2021, and then this would be earlier this year of January. So obviously there is a very big difference here, and this is actually 1 full year. A couple things before I start, I want to say that I have been a strength and conditioning coach and exercising in bodybuilding, powerlifting for almost the last 7-8 years. So I have also been an athlete my whole life. I have a genetic potential of an athlete. So I have a lot of muscle memory. My body, the way it bounces back between different body fat compositions is not going to reflect on how your body reacts. Everyone genetically is completely different. Height, weight, genes, ancestry, it's just a lot of things that go into it. So please don't ever look at my transformations or what I'm capable of doing and compare it to you, because it could literally be, salmon to beef. Completely different things, but both amazing. So 2001, I'm sure everyone knew, COVID kind of came through. I was not spared. I got COVID at least 2 times confirmed. COVID really kind of just tanked me in the fitness department everywhere. Before COVID, I have my own training business. I was doing a lot of personal clients. I was booming. I was booked out to the point where I needed to hire more people to actually come on and, train my clients or help assist me with it. COVID hit, the gym shut down, food was super expensive, the existential crisis of, I don't know what's happening, it's scary, I don't want to go outside, I can't work out, kind of really just like tanked me personally, because I know a lot of people were, trying to make money, and, that's on them. No way shaming anyone for, putting food on their family's table, but they kept promoting like, hey, do these home workouts, do this and that. And I just personally didn't feel okay promoting fitness when I'm like, people aren't getting paychecks. And I know fitness is a luxury. So I kind of really regressed from that. And because of that too, also, I wasn't working out. I kind of lost like my passion working wise, because a lot of my clients were like, I can't see you, I don't have money, and that's just what it was. That's what COVID did to a lot of people, especially in the industry. Fitness just went. So with that, I'm sure a lot of us picked up like a lot of bad habits. I know a lot of people, especially fitness wise, because most of my people I know are fitness, are, we're drinking a lot, eating out, just not doing all the things that they used to do. And I was definitely one of them. So like from COVID, it was kind of just a very slow decline of, I got actual COVID, I got really sick, and then my muscle memory and recovery took months. I feel like the first time I got COVID, it took me about 6 months to actually get back to an area where I felt healthy enough to actually work out again, because I was just getting so tired doing the minimal things. And it's very frustrating mentally too. Like, you're a fitness professional and I'm struggling with 15-pound weights when, let's say 4 months ago, I was throwing up 45s like no one's business and doing bodybuilding competitions and all that stuff. So mentally it was just very defeating. And so once I actually finally got better and I'm like, okay, kind of been getting back in the swing of things, you know, I didn't have the healthiest diet, I got COVID again. And I got COVID really bad, up to the point where this was 2021 and I still can't smell. I can't smell anything. So COVID definitely took a very big toll on me. I got very, very sick. My respiratory went to absolute garbage, and it affected a lot of different things. And it definitely affected how I ate, how I consumed, my overall energy expenditure. So, you know, this is my passion. This is what keeps me healthy. This is what keeps me, my mental state, very well above water. So not being able to exercise, feeling like I was very defeated, didn't have the energy to do this, I got depressed. And with depression comes a lot of different things. For me, it was excessive eating out. It was the laziness in the sense of like, I felt lazy where I didn't want to go do dishes. I didn't want to cook. I didn't want to go to the grocery store. That was my laziness. And I was just like, oh, I just don't want to do that. So DoorDash, Uber Eats, all the time, and just And of course, we know with high calorie concentrated diets, a lot of times it happens in fast foods, you might eat once a day, but that one meal might be 1,700 calories. And if my metabolic rate is very low, especially because I'm not expending a lot of calories, I'm a very short person, I'm 5'2.5". As a woman, I don't expend a lot of calories naturally. Having muscle mass helps me promote more, and being exercise, I get up to those higher numbers. But if I'm not doing anything, those numbers are gonna be low. So if I'm eating, you know, in a surplus every single day, not exercising, what's gonna happen? Weight gain. To being on birth control, having like just other things, everything kind of piling on, I definitely decreased my over expenditure, exercising. It doesn't happen overnight. I did not look like this overnight. This is a very long time of me slowly declining and increasing my body fat and lowering my muscle mass on my actual body. And this is a really big thing because body composition comes into a huge part of this. My heaviest weight, believe it or not, was 200 pounds. And this is what I look like. So at 200 pounds, at 5'2.5", and I know I'm gonna get some comments, I'm gonna get some people saying like, and I've had it already before on Twitter and my other social medias, oh my God, you look so good, you didn't even look bad. In that aspect, I was not healthy for myself. I was not mentally healthy, I was not personally healthy, physically. My body is not, just because my body carries body fat in that way, which genetically, that's how I'm disposed. Because someone my height at 5'2" might not look the way I looked at 200, but I also have muscle mass under there. I also distort, like I'm very bottom heavy with body fat. So a lot of my body fat goes to my legs. If I have 20 pounds of fat and I distribute it between, you know, my legs, 10 pounds each leg versus 20 pounds in my gut, is going to look very different. So genetically, I'm just disposed to put body fat on my lower half. So that's why it looks like that. And I know some people are gonna say, oh, you know, that looks amazing, that looks great. That is not the point. So for me, this was not healthy, mentally, physically, in any type of way. And of course, I'm just pushing it back. Oh, I'll start next month. Oh, I'll start next week. I'll start on Monday. And I finally was like, you know what? I really want to do a bodybuilding competition. Wellness is just now finally the NPC. I'm going to do really good at it. You know, I have the glute structure for it. Let me get into prep. And so part of the prep, when I got my bodybuilding coach, is like, okay, we need to do your measurements and your weight. When I say I jumped on that scale and I double looked twice, I got off, I was like, no. I looked again and I was just absolutely just like, it had 200 on it. And I have never been 200 in my entire life. Even when I was like dirty bulking, kind of doing more powerlifting thing, I had never hit 200. So for me, it was just so defeating, and I was like, oh my God, it was the wake-up call for me. And that's, once again, for me and my preference. It was just a lot. So I started off at 200, and I wouldn't say quickly lost the weight, but I very safely gradually lost the weight. Overall, my total weight loss was 70 pounds. This is in about 1 year. We're gonna go through these photos together. So I started off 200 pounds, very high body fat. I did not do the measurements. I did not want to know what my actually body fat scale percentage was. Did not want to know. I was like, listen, we got to get with this. So I went through bodybuilding competition prep. With this is not in any way the standard or the normal practice to lose weight. This is a very extreme, harsh way to do this. But because I had talked to my bodybuilding coach, we had not planned to do a show until the summer. That had given me enough time to safely lose the excess fat that I had. We could reevaluate where my muscle mass was and then kind of scale and go from there as we leaned out, and it'd be the safest way for me. Essentially, this way, it's a more direct, harsher way, but I'm in an athletic sport. So if you're just living your life, don't feel you need the way to do this, because I was doing something very, very sport-specific, athletic-based. But essentially what I went down to, and this I do recommend for my clients, I went down to a, calorie deficit, which I've talked about before, absolutely need. Calorie deficit. I went to a high protein diet. I started watching my foods, and I increased my exercise and my cardio. And, this was hard because essentially I went from eating DoorDash, Uber Eats every single day and really just winging my diet, being like, it's calories, I need the calories, like I haven't eaten all day, like I'd rather have, 1,200 than 0. Didn't work that way. Going to prepping my food, scaling, measuring every single thing. And even though I have done this before, this was challenging for me, because you gotta remember, I had been in this type of habit. So even though I'm a coach, I know I do this with my clients, I've done this for myself multiple times before in the past, it was still a challenge, because a lot of it is mentality, because I wasn't in the habit of it, and I really had to focus on my discipline and not my motivation. I had the motivation, but the motivation, I didn't want to be 200 pounds. It's very simple, it happens to a lot of people, but my discipline is what was able to get me down and slowly start slimming down more and more. But for example, I was doing cardio. I started off 3 times a week, 30 minutes, try to get my heart rate elevated. And then after a couple weeks, I went up to, okay, we're gonna do 45 minutes, maybe 3 times a week. And then I was like, okay, now we're doing cardio 4 times a week. And now we're going for an hour. And then I was doing cardio twice a week for 72 minutes on the incline, just walking and keeping my heart rate elevated during that time. That gradual incline helps you. Also too, as you lose weight, you become more fit. Your body becomes acclimated. So what you did in month 1 is not gonna work in month 4. You need to train your body to go harder each time. It sucks, but those little 30-minute cardio exercises in the elliptical, we're not gonna do it when I was already 20-30 pounds down. The 70 pounds that I lost, realistically, I'm gonna say I got off down by June or so, because my first show was going to be very early July. With this, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no secret pill. There's no secret workout. There's no secret diet. There's nothing special that any trainer is gatekeeping. It is simple math. Calorie deficit, work hard, stay disciplined. Those 3 things, bread and butter, is gonna get you there. It might take you time, depending on how regiment you stick with that, but that is what's gonna get you there. So going into diet, when I say high protein diet, I'm looking at, a protein shake as a supplement to help me get my protein goal, because essentially I was shooting for about 1 gram of protein per body weight at least per day. So a protein shake, whey isolates are always easier on my stomach. I'm lactose intolerant. Also too, typically, calorie wise, you're getting about 100-ish calories for about 25 grams of protein, so do that times 2, 200 calories for 50 grams of protein, good bang for your bargain. I was doing that. I was doing chicken, ground turkey, very lean beef, shrimp, tuna, salmon, flank steak, high protein diet. I am a carnivore, I love meat, so this definitely helped out with me. I was doing leafy greens a couple times a day, and then I was doing my carbs. Carbs are your friends, they're not a bad guy, you need them in your diet. Working with your body. I know my body type. My body type likes to have muscle, have lower body fat, and I typically don't carry body fat in my upper region. I have typically thinner areas of my chest, arms, and abs, but my legs take a very long time to become shredded or ripped or stage ready, just because that's where I typically carry most of my body fat. So when I got to exercise, leaning down, upper body wise, it shreds very quickly, but that's because I know my body type. Also going into this, I knew exactly the image of what I wanted, and I had a plan for that because I was doing bodybuilding competition wellness for NPC. For other people, you do not need to do bodybuilding. Honestly, the big reason why I didn't do my show is because as I dropped down the weight, remember I went from 200 to 150, and at 150 I was really struggling to get below that, but I still had excess body fat for a competition stage. Like as we see here, this photo right here, I was 150 pounds, and obviously a lot different. That is 50 pounds right there, which was a lot to drop for me. I had to get onto my stage weight, which was going to be closer to most likely 130-ish, in that range. So with that weight, obviously I still had to drop a lot more because I was still holding on to body fat for my bodybuilding competition. The lowest I got down to was about 140 pounds, and we're gonna see this right here. For me, I decided to not do my bodybuilding show. I did not feel healthy. Yes, I was super thin. Yes, I had no waist. Yes, I was getting shredded. Yes, I was, a crazy amount of shape. And I looked great, I did. But I was not healthy. You could tell in my face, my cheekbones, the visceral fat was gone. I looked very sunken in. I was stressed out beyond relief, beyond compare. Stressed out. I was doing over an hour cardio every single day. I was lifting 2+ hours a day. I'm also a strength and conditioning coach, so I was coaching my clients, 8+ hours a day, so it's a very long day. Forcing myself to go to sleep, having insomnia because my body weight's getting so low, having messed up hormones, getting stressed out because I didn't reach my sodium, I didn't hit my meal, I didn't have time, and becoming very overwhelmed, and also to not necessarily loving my body. It just long-term wasn't ideal for me. My age and where I want to be in the next 5 years. Next 5 years do not include an Olympian stage. I'm very honest with myself. I was honest with my coach. Long term, okay, yes, I do this show, I get my pro card, I go to nationals. What do I do after that? It didn't have a long-term future for me. So realistically, the health factors versus the benefits just didn't weigh out. So before I got into the last little stretch of my competition prep, so lean down, which I looked like this, about 145 pounds. I think the lowest I got down to, I think I hit 139, and that was just such a struggle for me. I remember seeing under 140 crying because I got that low. And it was my birthday, probably exactly a month before my show, and I just cried, and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it was the happiest birthday because I was so happy and content with myself. I'm like, I made the best decision for me. I'm going to be healthy in the way that I think is healthy, because this body right there, not healthy for me. And I did a body recomp. So that was about June. From there, I did more of a maintenance plan. Maintenance meaning I'm eating around the same amount of my basal and my extra and all that stuff. So I'm not in a surplus, I'm not in a deficit. Eating my basal, maintenance, trying to put back on muscle mass that I did lose because I lost so much physical weight. There is no way that I went from 200 pounds to 139 without losing muscle mass. It's just, there's no way to do it, especially in under a year's time. So I took that time, did a body recomp, did my maintenance, focused on being stronger, being healthier, like having a stress-free diet, meaning that I wasn't as works for me and my genetic disposure to my body. I also know how to train. I know what works best for me. This took me a very long time to figure out. It took me about realistically 6 years before I really figured out how my body works and what responds best for that. And just focused on overall well-being, healthiness, diet, not as restrictive, enjoying things that I couldn't necessarily eat for 8, 6, 7 months. For 8 months, I ate oatmeal, gluten-free oatmeal, protein, banana, shot of honey. For breakfast, I'm having waffles, I'm having bacon, eggs. I still stayed in a high protein diet, but I wasn't super restrictive. And that worked for my mental state in order to put me in a healthy, better well-being, kind of ideal-wise, because after that, my workouts were better. I could lift heavier weight, I wasn't as stressed out. Transitioning, so from about June, July, up until December, I focused on just truly being a healthier version of myself. And with that, that includes a better diet, a better sleep schedule, putting myself to sleep earlier, getting a better workout routine, not stressing out if I missed a workout. If I wake up tired, I will sleep in and start my day from there. If I miss a workout, it's not the end of the world. And these things allowed me to transform myself into probably the best body I've ever had. I am right now currently 150 pounds, not even trying, but I'm also, there's probably the leanest I've ever been. My legs are bigger. I haven't done a body fat calculation in a very long time. I truly don't care for it because for me, do I look better? Do I feel better? I feel amazing. I look better. So therefore, it's not necessarily I need to know. Things that I do though, I do get blood work done. I do go to the doctor and I get this all done. It being February, I haven't done this yet. I do have my blood work scheduled for next month. I do that at least twice a year. I always recommend that for everyone to do that because you just need to make sure that all your levels are good. So overall, this was about literally one year time span. I went from my depressed and possibly worst body image that I found personally to, I think, absolutely my best body and probably the healthiest and happiest I've ever been in my entire adult life. So what I want to transcribe to you guys is that it is possible. And yes, I'm gonna have some people say, oh, you look better at 200 pounds. And I'll have some people say, oh, you look better now this place. End of the day, it doesn't matter because it's my body and how I feel comfortable in my body is what we want. And I say this to all my ladies too. If being strong is what makes you feel confident, go for it. Because at the end of the day, someone was always going to find you ugly and someone will always find you beautiful. You're not meant for everybody and you need to keep that right at the chest. So if you're struggling with your weight loss, if you think it's too far out of reach, you can do it. You absolutely 100% can. You want to focus on a couple main things. Focus on making a plan. Have a diet plan. Have a workout plan. Have that regimen and stick to it. Don't just wing it. Have a plan. That was probably the best thing I had. I had a bodybuilding coach to help me navigate that. I knew a lot on my own anyways, but having that accountability, having that person saying, hey, you didn't reach that yet, we need to step this up, get it together, absolutely helps a lot. Having that diet plan, having that nutrition plan, having realistic goals. I was 200 pounds. I did not expect to jump on stage in 3 months. That's just not gonna happen. 7, 9 months? Yeah, that's more realistic because I have muscle memory, all that stuff. Be realistic with yourself. Do not put these high expectations that you're gonna lose 30 pounds in 1 month. It's a lie, it's a scam, it's not gonna happen. You can lose 5. Yeah, absolutely. You might even lose 10 depending how much you have to lose. Because if we look at this now, me being 150 pounds, I don't have necessarily 10 pounds to lose. And that's why when I got lower and lower in weight, it was plateauing and it was getting harder and harder and I'd become more depleted. Now, I would say I look better than I did when I was depleted. I'm fuller, have more muscle mass, I eat what I want, and I'm a lot happier and healthier. So I hope this resonates with some people, keeps you motivated, keeps you going, or at least helps put you in the right direction. Remember, you can achieve it, you just have to stick to the plan. Keep it simple, stick to the plan, and you will get there, all right? So thank you again, like, comment, subscribe, keep up with me on the socials. If you guys wanna get, your first footstep in the door, I do offer a free ebook, free purchase, download it, it's right in the link, I'll put it down there. Otherwise, until next time,